Becoming an entrepreneur is not a problem at all, but finding a niche for business is much more difficult. Moreover, you can search for it in completely different ways. For example, choose with your heart and turn your hobby into a business. Or find with your mind what is more promising to calculate everything and keep it. And then there's the good old evolution from employee to entrepreneur. In general, there are a lot of options. Go figure it out. In this video, we'll tell you everything you need to know about a niche and how to choose one. If you have talent, there will be a niche. Oleg Tinkoff, entrepreneur, billionaire. Application for state services visit to the tax office. And now you are already a newly made businessman. The banks immediately find out that another entrepreneur has come into the world and they fight for you. You choose a winner and that's it. Now you are officially ready to earn your bread and butter, or hell and butter. How will it go? This is where the tough questions begin. Where have you directed your talents? It's time to turn on that same entrepreneurial thinking and decide on a niche. At all. We'll tell you what this niche is in 13 seconds. A niche is a small segment of the market with limited supply and demand. It always contains individual requests from small groups of buyers. This is a fishing place where you will overtake your competitors and catch clients. Why go far? Let's take our favorite YouTube as an example. Here, 1,000 viewers search for videos on a variety of topics. The production of dental rollers is a market segment, but videos about business are a niche. A correctly chosen niche is a treasure for an entrepreneur. First of all, there is a lot of demand in a good niche. You just need your product to sell like hotcakes and to sell for more than it costs you. Without marginality, there is nowhere. Life will be much more comfortable if, after paying all costs and taxes, there is money left over for a trip to the sea. It is also important that competitors are allowed to squeeze into the market. For example, they do not cover all the demand or are so lazy that at first they will not notice a new player, and then you will no longer be stopped. And you also need stability for at least a couple of years. Selling Christmas trees or tulips on the night of March 8th is, of course, a profitable business. But such an attraction of unprecedented demand happens once a year. But it happens that you move your head left and right, but the dream niche does not loom on the horizon. And you cannot live without your own business. Then watch carefully. Next, there will be instructions especially for you. There are 3 ways. All of them lead to success and wealth, but not everyone, but the most stubborn. The first is to follow the instructions of Grandfather Darwin and evolve from a great employee to an entrepreneur. Not very cool at first. And then how it goes. This path is for you if you understand that working for your uncle is no longer an option, even if your uncle is an aunt. You listen to this speaker on YouTube, read Atlas Shrugged, and realize that you can do everything yourself. Seriously, you know this market as suppliers and partners, like brothers and relatives. You can easily gather a customer base. You know your competitors, their strengths, and most importantly, you see where they give birth. Choose your native swamp and use your knowledge as starting capital. But it happens that you want to forget your last job, like burning a bad dream and scattering the ashes in the corporate smoking room. Then take a closer look at the second path and choose with your heart. For example, every day in the office you dream of working with wood on the weekend. This is a reason to listen to yourself? Could this become your life's work until your death? Well, or at least for a couple of years. If the answer is yes, sit down and write a business plan. Consider the project well thought out. But don't forget about all these boring things like demand and margins. If you don't take them into account, you will have a lot of sawdust but no money. Without ignoring the fact that now wooden products are not just a hobby, but an income. So you have to deal with unpleasant things. For example, reduce production costs and save on materials. But if you don't want to Or there are franchises with good conditions and demand, but there are no good franchisees in your region. Secondly, be sure to check if there is demand for your product. Otherwise, you will sit next to your manicure tongs and smoke bamboo. To see how often a service is searched for, use Yandex Stat. Add words like price by, order, or Norwegian to the request for curious users who just need to ask. Be sure to Google potential competitors. It is better to prepare in advance for the battle for the client. See where they climb and where you can keep them. The site is crap, the reviews are bad. Wonderful. Ha 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 ha. Rejoice and do better. Find out in advance from specialists how much it will cost to move your competitors to the top of search results. Or maybe it's completely pointless to fight evil and you need to join it. Well, for example, don't build your own store, but sell to the market. And finally, gather your thoughts and soberly assess the adequacy of your plan. Will the price be competitive with a high markup? Is it possible to get to the top of the search without selling the jewelry that you inherited from your great-grandmother? And do you need a short sewing business if you live above the Arctic Circle? If it turns out that it is not needed, return to the first point and repeat all the steps again. Sometimes it happens, just like in the fairy tale itself, all three paths converge. You don't have to choose for a long time which way to go. You already have experience in hiring, you have checked everything, and the niche opens up prospects. And in general, you love what you do. Bingo! Congratulations! Did you draw a lucky ticket? You are now hated by hundreds of entrepreneurs who are painfully searching for a niche. But you don't care about them because you are already doing everything towards profitability, business, and your own office. Online, well, or in the basement of a Khrushchev building. So we walked along all three paths that led to the treasures of the correct niche. Let's not lie. The adventure is just beginning. There are many ups and downs ahead of you. Subscribe to the channel and like it so that your business story is a fairy tale with a happy ending and not a choir with an age limit.